This video is going to be travel tips for Thailand. I just wanted to point out that I'm not turning this YouTube channel into a travel channel. It's just that I've been uploading a lot of food videos for Thailand, and I don't want to inspire someone to go there and then get screwed over by not knowing something. I'm not an expert in travel. Going to Thailand was my first international trip, but I just wanted to share my information of my encounters there. And just to make sure that people have a good time, because, you know, you share information so that other people can have a good time. And the main thing for this takeaway is that this is a unique information. You know, I'm going there as an Asian man. It might be different if you're a different race. But, you know, let's just get into it. First thing first, I'm Canadian, so currency is the Canadian dollar. And you cannot transfer the Canadian dollar in Thailand, so you have to do it at the airport. And in order to, sometimes the Thai customs will not let you in if you don't have enough Thai baht on you, simply because they're trying to stem the flow of bagpackers. They are people who go to a country with not enough money, they spend all their money, and then they busk the way through the rest of their vacation. So some will check and make sure you have at least 10,000 baht on you, which is about 400 Canadian dollars. You can do the conversion on your own. But essentially, the whole point of this is that you have to bring a lot of Canadian money, of your own money, to the airport or before or after and exchange it in country. And the exchange rate's really good. That's one of the reasons why people go to Thailand, is for the strong currency conversion. You can get more for your money. So going there and then transferring all the money, you're walking around. I was walking around with more than 10,000 of their currency. You feel like a big shot. And we overspent the first 2 days for sure. It makes it seem like you have enough for the entire vacation, but you can easily spend a lot more when you have it all on you in cash. So budgeting is probably the number one thing you need to keep in mind. I know that, you know, you go there and you have thousands of baht, but, you know, it goes away quickly once you realize that everything costs money over there. So budgeting is probably the number one thing you need to remember when you go there. The second thing is that scams. The first thing that happened to me was a taxi driver tried to scam me. It was definitely it was just so uncool because I wasn't at my best, like physically or mentally. I got off work at 2 a.m. and I didn't want to get up 4 hours later to leave for the airport, so I just pulled an all-nighter. So I didn't get to the airport till 6, and then we left at like 8 or 9. And I slept on the plane to Hong Kong. And then when we got to Hong Kong, I realized that my travel partner Daniel and I didn't have the same flight to Bangkok. I was on a later flight 2 hours later, so he went up ahead. I had to wait at the airport. I got on the Hong Kong plane, got in late at like 12:31 a.m. And, you know, I haven't showered in over 24 hours, so I was feeling really grimy, really sweaty, still wearing a hoodie and jeans, so like in 30 degree weather. And then, you know, I'm sleep deprived, jet lagged, a little bit hungry, really thirsty, really warm. And the plane landed on the tarmac, and we couldn't get off the plane because the shuttle bus was already full. So I had to wait 10-15 minutes on the runway waiting for the shuttle bus to come back. So I just wanted to get to my hotel, shower, and pass out. And the bus, I get one of those little ticket things for the cab. I put my luggage in the back. I sit down. He pulls over after getting out of the airport, and he's like, "Okay, it's gonna be 500 baht." And I didn't even know about this travel scam, but red flags all around. It didn't matter how tired I was. I was just like, no. And he's like, "I want the meter." And he's like, "No, 500 baht." And he had like a little towel set up over the meter. And I kept arguing with him. And he kept saying, like, "If we're going to do the meter, you have to pay the tolls." And I was like, "I don't care. I want the meter." It didn't feel right. And he's supposed to get 50 baht for airport fee, but he wanted more, obviously. But I would have tipped him a good, generous amount just for getting me to the hotel in one piece. But he was just being, you know, really adamant. And he was bitching me out the entire cab ride. And then I checked on Google Maps, you know, the direction. He went the long way, of course, took an extra 10 minutes, and it ended up being a good like 200 baht cheaper, obviously. So it's just, you know, he made sure to ask me if it was my first time in Thailand and everything. He was gauging me to see, you know, if I knew anything. And it just it sucked, you know. The first thing that happens when I get there is a taxi driver tries to take advantage of you. Daniel, on his way out of Thailand, had to do the same thing 5 times. 5 different cab drivers were trying to take him to the airport, but they wanted a set fee, and then he had to wait until he got one that wouldn't do that. However, it's different in Phuket. Phuket's the island south of Thailand, known for all the beaches and things. They have a taxi mafia there, so you can't use the meter down there. It's all set rate. However, when you're in Bangkok, it's not set rate. Use the meter. It's really cheap, especially when you're splitting the cab with multiple people. Another thing to remember is that I went to Thailand with like 10,000 baht to start. And however, you go through really quickly because we weren't budgeting with food for the first 2 days. But the thing to remember is ATMs are expensive. The fees, I didn't realize it at the time, but they were charging me about $9 every time I withdrew something. So I didn't really clue in. So I took out 2,000 one day and then waited 2 days, took out another 1,000 and then 2,000 on the 4th day. And then I realized that I spent about $50 in the first week just on ATM fees. I should have just taken out a large amount and just dealt with it, and if I didn't spend it, you know, switch it back after. Never really occurred to me, so that's something to consider. Just another quick note that you have to be a little bit wary of what you're doing over there. Most people are nice, you know, there are people, it's just like any other country in the world, you know, most of the people are nice, but there's going to be some that don't have your best intentions. For example, I went to buy a tourist SIM and I didn't have enough money, or you have to have a passport to buy a tourist SIM. Didn't have that on me. So I went back a couple hours later to buy one and she quoted me 100 more than what it costs. And I pointed that out and she was like, oh, sorry. She was probably going to pocket that extra money. Same goes for at the airport. Daniel was upsold on large fries, but he got medium, and she probably pocketed the 25 baht. He didn't really care, but you just have to be, you know, be a little wary of what people do. And oh yeah, that's the other thing. One more thing that's really important, probably the most important thing I'll ever tell anyone: never go to the airport hungry. Even if your hotel has really expensive, like a breakfast buffet or something, or like always buy that. And never be at the mercy of airport food. I'm not talking about the airline food, like the food on the airline. I'm talking about food at the airport. Food at the airport is mostly dog shit, especially the Chiang Mai one. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to like knock like the culture, just like the food there is just so bad. Yeah, so definitely get breakfast anywhere else than the airport. We went to Chiang Mai airport, we woke up late and we ended up having to buy food there. Just everything was just so subpar. There was just like this really shitty barbecue duck on, and then like it was like so old it tasted like leftovers, and then they also had like frozen dim sum sitting in the freezer underneath the drinks. I had to get something else. I got a good donut, but then I bought KFC and they gave me spicy KFC and they didn't even care. And it was just a really bad time because, you know, you're really hungry, you have to eat, and you have to eat stuff at the airport, and the stuff at the airport's just not good quality. Same goes for the Bangkok one. Yeah, pretty much all of the airports in Thailand don't have really good food, really bad food. Never go to the airport hungry. Try to eat before you go. Pack snacks. You just have to.